Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What the World Podcast. I'm your host, Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So guys, make sure you like us, all those podcast apps out there. Make sure you follow us. We're on all of them, and you should rate us. How many stars?
5 stars, guys. Please give us that 5 stars.
Yes, guys, make sure you do that. Make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel, What the World Podcast. Make sure you go there. Make sure you subscribe to that. And if you have any suggestions, any questions, make sure you email us. What's our email?
Podcastwhatthereal@gmail.com.
Yeah, so definitely go ahead and do that. Email us and all that. And so yeah, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to do a movie review. We're going to do the movie review of Devil's Due.
Devil's Due. Yeah, literally, I have a big hat with a whole bunch of bad movies in it. And we literally pulled this from the hat and we got Devil's Due.
You know, honestly, I didn't think this movie was that bad.
I didn't. All right. So
it was a little boring in the beginning, but then when the stuff started happening, I was like, oh, snap.
So I don't think it's, for me, I don't think it's good, but I don't think it was bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be some piece of crap movie, but it's not that bad. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be some dumpster fire, but it's at least better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed it. Once it got rolling, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. The stuff that was happening there, but the ending where she cut her stomach open, I was like, yo! I was like, no, what'd you do?
Yeah.
They set the husband up. Those people, they set him up.
Yeah, they definitely set him up. Like I like certain parts they did with the movie. At least the acting seemed fine. Like the acting I thought was fine enough to like, all right, it seems like it would be like a found footage. But I'm not a big fan of the dialogue. I think the dialogue was a little forced about it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, it just don't seem like that's how people would talk to each other. Like, he was too witty and like, I don't know. But I like there's one cool shot that I did like when they found the girl outside and eating the deer. And then like she like I guess using telekinesis to like push him all the way and then shot the one dude all the way up in the sky.
Yeah.
And he fell down on the car. Thought that was cool. I think it was just, it had some good things, but I think it was just like a hollow movie. Like, when all it comes down.
I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying it had some good
definitely
parts.
No, it definitely, because I definitely came in thinking like, oh, some crazy dumb movie.
I thought this movie was going to be a lot worse
Yeah.
than what it was going to be. So my expectations were down here, but they were like here instead of being like here. So
Also, one other thing, they made some dumb decisions. There's a couple parts where they're walking around the house just in the dark and just wouldn't try to turn on the light. I'm like,
I was like, why?
Why are you not turning on the lights?
It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is everything in the dark?
Yeah. So So let's go ahead and break it down.
Okay. So it starts off by showing 1 John 2:18, and it shows the quote from that passage, and it talks about the Antichrist coming back and stuff like that. I didn't write down what the quote was.
It was saying it was not just one Antichrist, but it would be many. That's
many of them are going to be coming back. And then it shows a guy at the police station, and he's just talking like, tell us what happened and stuff like that. And then it goes back to June 8th, 2012. And what happens then?
You see someone like outside with a video camera, and you're seeing his footage of him walking to the house. He goes to the window. He's whoever it is looking inside.
Sees a bunch of girls.
So, a bunch of girls.
I'm like, this is creepy.
Then he goes upstairs, climbs up the like side of the house, goes through the window, and then you see a girl in the bathroom, just getting out of the shower. And then you think, oh my God, they're about to get killed or something. And then the jump scare, the dog pops up.
Yeah.
And then come to find out it was the husband. And, he's recording his wife. And they're, supposed to be recording their new life together because they're getting married. And they want to, tell their kids of how, the whole life was and all that stuff. you know.
Yes.
So that was their like reason to record everything.
Yep.
So I don't know. I thought that as well. I thought that was like a little iffy. Like you gotta if you're gonna do like a found footage movie, you gotta have good reasons why they're recording.
Yeah. Well, at first they made it seem like they were going to do it in their marriage,
Yeah.
to look back at the footage and see it. Because if you notice when they first do the marriage, he's like, "Oh, when you look back at this, you're going to remember I was a good-looking guy," and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I guess they weren't technically doing it for the kid just yet.
Yeah, yeah.
They
They were
switched
just
over
mainly
to that.
yeah, and
But it just doesn't seem like it.
it just didn't seem genuine at certain points with the camera. It just seemed like, why would you be recording this? At just certain points.
Yeah, he was recording like everything is
Like when the girl had the they're doing the thing to her, the procedure. Like, why are they recording that? Like, you would think
Yeah.
that freaking well, obviously we know a real doctor would what he would do, but they wouldn't let being recorded and doing that procedure.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
But like all right, so like we watched The Visit.
Yes.
That has a better reason why they're recording.
Yes, exactly.
Like
it
I
does.
I like if you're gonna record everything, there was points where he was going outside with the camera. Like, why are you going outside with the camera for? So I just if you're gonna do a found footage movie, you have to have a good reason to have that camera in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Then it shows them at a church getting married. And that's where we find out she's a foster child.
Yeah, because she doesn't know what happened to her parents.
Well, didn't they say in the movie during the movie, that she was cut out of the womb? Her parents died in a car crash?
Maybe, yeah, possibly. I don't know. I might have missed that, but yeah, I think so.
I could have sworn they said that.
Yeah, they might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just shows a bunch of wedding stuff. Nothing really exciting happening there. Just boring wedding stuff.
Yeah.
Your typical stuff you see.
One thing though, I did write about the wedding is there was a cut in the wedding. So like, I believe they were doing like a speech or something, and then it cut to someone's like they were talking about someone in the speech, and then the camera cut to that person. And I'm thinking, if you're recording this, where's the cut? How are you cutting that at real time? It'd been better if they panned the camera over to that person and then pan it back. But it was like a cut, so that's something they missed out when making this movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I must have been writing when that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. And then it shows them going to the Dominican Republic for their honeymoon. And then once again, they're just recording typical stuff that you would do on vacation.
Yeah.
Going to the beach, zip lining, nothing exciting. Then we get to the juicy stuff. What happens next?
So also we found out he has like a little GoPro camera that he can put it on his chest or something like that. So what did I see?
They go to the psychic.
Oh yeah, they go to the psychic. Yep, that's right. She's like a palm reader, and she's reading her palm, and says she was born from death. The lady was saying, and she was like, wait, what? And she's like, she says that they've been waiting for her, and she's the first.
Yeah.
She's and she's freaking out like what is that? And the lady was trying to grab on her still, trying to talk to her, but she was running out of there. She was like, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. And I believe the lady like whispered something to her ear or something like that.
Yeah, we don't really know what she says.
Yeah.
She was like being all iffy about it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out.
Where they were. Yeah, they were lost.
They said there was no street signs and stuff like that. So they're trying to figure out where to get back. So they stopped and got a taxi.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just want to go back to the hotel. And the taxi driver's like, no, I take you to this great place. And they're like, no, we just want to go back. He's like, no, I take you to this one place. Just one drink. Yeah. So he takes them to this place. It looks really iffy. I would not have gone in with them.
Well, first of all, they should never, if you're on vacation, I've been to DR, I've been in the Dominican Republic twice. You don't go off the resort.
Yeah, you
don't go off. You don't be in some place where first of all, you don't know where you're at. It's dark. No, you don't do that. You'll get robbed like ASAP, so.
Yeah, Dominican's not exactly the safest place.
Yeah, so they shouldn't have been out there to begin with.
I only been to Dominican once, but the resorts are really nice, but then you go outside there and you're
it's bad. The ride, when you get to the resort, you see how bad it is,
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. So yeah, they go into this shady spot. There's like a little symbol right outside the door you can see, and then they go in. And it's like a freaking. It's awesome. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like a
It
cave.
was it was a big cave, and they're using it as like a club. It's awesome. I'm sure the sound would be awesome in there, like the actual music, and
Yeah, I
probably
know, right?
echoing. Like probably really cool. So they in there partying. They meet another couple and they're drinking and then they get pretty much getting hammered and then the girl is like, oh, these guys are staring at me, why are these guys staring at me? And I guess it was one of the guys was the taxi driver
Yep.
and like two other guys, and they're like pointing at her and looking at her, and then like the camera cuts off and then it shows that
It shows this like they're doing chanting, like
yeah,
these lights show up. They don't really show
I
much.
don't,
It's
yeah,
hard to explain what happens without seeing it. It's like they had candles lit and you just see a body being laid down and then
yeah,
you hear chanting and then it just disappears. Like it's on the screen for like how long would you say it's on the screen for?
not long,
Like
yeah,
a couple
it's
of seconds,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and then like some big bright light and loudness and like the where she's laying at. I guess that was her. I couldn't
Yeah.
even tell. I couldn't even
I couldn't
tell
even tell who it
what
was.
was going on, and I think that was one thing that I kind of messed up. I had no idea what was going on, but it
Yeah.
like first of all the camera came on by like how did the camera turn on?
Yeah.
But so I guess she's laying there in a blanket or something covered up. I guess that would be her. Uh, in the cinema, and then it lights up like super bright, super loud for a few seconds, and then like just cuts off.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they wake up in the hotel.
Yeah, they're back in the hotel
Yeah.
and they flew home. And then he's like, oh, wait, we're home. I need to carry you through the door. So you hold this. So he
Mhm.
carries her through the door. And he realized the person left the door open. And then they have a bunch of gifts they got to open from their wedding. So they're going through that. And what happens next?
So yeah, they're back home, and then they find out she's pregnant,
Yep.
and she's been taking the pill, but somehow she's pregnant.
The pill's only
Yeah.
99.9% effective.
And like she's like obviously kind of nervous about it, but he's super excited. Oh, we're having a baby.
She didn't want it.
Uh,
Yeah, so they go to the doctor and they see it on that ultrasound and they realize she's 7 weeks along and her
Mhm.
due date is March 30th.
Yeah, and they also show like a little part with the ultrasound, like it's messing up a little bit while they were showing it.
Yeah.
They were in bed at a certain point talking, and then they found like she had a bruise on her back, like on her side.
Yeah, like her hip
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
And then I don't know if you have anything. I have the where they were sleeping. He woke up.
Oh, yeah, she's snoring. She's
Yeah,
like, oh,
she's
your snoring woke me up too.
yeah,
And then her eyes just open up
yeah,
like bug eyed.
yeah.
And then she grabs him and he's like, Sam, what are you doing? Sam, stop. And then she's like, go to sleep.
Yeah, she got that strong hand.
She got that devil's hand.
Yeah. Then they cut to they're like having like a family party or whatever, and she's telling the family, "Hey, we're pregnant," but they can't find the ultrasound picture.
Yeah, ultrasound picture is missing.
It's missing. And then right after that, then we see Sam have like a serious nosebleed, like so much blood is like gushing out of her nose.
Yeah. Then it shows Zach, the husband, walking around showing different places that the kids should know, like the Anderson house. He's like, that house is still crappy as usual. Showing the school that you're going to go to, where he said he got beat up at. So things like that. And the dog, what's the dog's name, Max? I think it was Max.
Possibly.
The dog Max runs up to Anderson house barking, and he had to go chase after him to go grab him. So they went and did that. And then it goes back to the house and it shows that Samantha has given up her office for the baby,
Yeah.
even though she didn't want to.
Also, I got there's a part where they seen a guy outside just staring when they looked out the window.
Oh, yeah, that happens right after she says she's giving up her office.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you guys staring at the house, yeah.
Yeah, staring at the house. They're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then he just like walks away. Like,
yeah.
I
And
got when she's in the shopping. Is that what you have?
I have I have that before that. She left class early because she was hungry.
Oh, okay.
And she just scarfs down those chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, "Are you feeling okay?" She's like, "I'm just so hungry."
Yeah. I didn't write that part, but yeah. Then we see her at the
You could tell
shopping.
that part. That's a good one.
See her at the shopping center, and then we see them using another cameras now. They're actually using the CCTV footage of the actual the what's the word? Jeez, of the actual
Store footage.
store. Yeah, the what are they called? The grocery store.
Yeah.
And then we see her. She's walking by, like she's by the meat section, all by the ground meat, and she just sits there. And then she turns, and you see her pick one up, and then open it, and then just starts scarfing it down the raw ground meat.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah, and you see like one person walk by and looking at her like, oh, what the hell? And then we found we found out earlier she was a vegetarian, so for her to be
Yeah.
doing that anyway is kind of crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just wild that
And
imagine,
no one says anything to her.
imagine while they're filming this, she picks the wrong package.
Oh my gosh. That'd be awful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty. And then it cuts to the husband working on the baby's room. And he's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to come in here until I said you're allowed to come in here." And they're like, "Oh, but we want to see it." So he's showing off all the stuff he made. And then Sam experiences this really sharp pain in her stomach. Could barely stand. She's like, "No, no, I'm fine. I'm fine." But she got this bad pain.
Yeah. Then they see them in Lama's class and learn how to breathe and all that stuff. And then there's a part in there where she's like laying on her back, just relaxing. And then all the other women in there starts having pain and they starts going crazy. And he's like, "Oh my God, they're hurting. Are you okay?" And she was just relaxing, like almost sleeping.
She's like, "I'm fine."
And they're all going through pain.
Yeah. And then it jumps to them at the baby store to pick up a bunch of stuff. So they're leaving the store and she feels this pain and she could barely walk. And so the husband's like, "I'm gonna go grab the car, you stay here." She's like, "No, no, I'll be fine." And a car almost hits her and she punches out the back window and she punches out the side windows and stuff like that. The husband grabs her, brings her into the car and stuff. And I was just like, damn.
And she was like, "Oh my God, there's something wrong. There's something wrong." Like, yeah, she flipped out.
Yeah, something wrong with the baby. Yeah. And then they go to see the doctor, and there's a different doctor there. And they're like, "Oh, what happened to Dr. So-and-so?" And they're like, "Oh, she had to take a leave of absence." They're like, "Is she going to be back in time?" And it's like, "Oh, she's going to be gone for a while," and stuff like that. He was acting really fishy.
He was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. She's gone. No, it's okay. I'll take over. Don't worry about it." Like, he was just so dismissive about it. And then they couldn't see if it was a boy or girl.
Yeah, because it was turned over. And then she was looking at the baby and she got nauseous and got up and went to the bathroom to go puke. And then this is when they did the needle thing.
Yeah, the procedure that she flips out on. Like, yeah, and I was watching this with my wife. She was like, "Yeah, when you do that procedure, it's not like, oh, let's go ahead and do this. It's like a big thing. You have to like schedule it and all that stuff. It's actually a big deal. Like, they just want to do it on the fly like that." She was saying.
And then it goes to their house and it shows someone is putting cameras in the house, all over the house. Yeah, I was confused. I wasn't sure if this was the husband doing it because it doesn't really show who does it. So I was like, is this the husband doing that so he could keep track of the wife? Or is this somebody else doing it? So I was a little confused at first when they did that.
At first I was like wondering what's going on, but then I realized, okay, someone's putting cameras in us. But one thing kind of irked me about this. Like, so they're putting the cameras, they're putting them in like in the vents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they put the cameras in there and then they are showing like them in the house and stuff. And then at one point the camera pans. And I'm like, if you put a hidden camera in a vent, I don't think that thing is panning. It's literally going to be a static camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not panning anywhere. Stop it.
Yeah, that is true. And it shows the dog is barking at the camera and stuff like that. And then they're on a nature walk. and they're saying, "Oh, let's get out of town." And she's like, "Oh, you've already taken so much time off of work. We can't do that. I have
Mm.
school and stuff like that." So, and she's like, "I'll be all right. Let's stay." And then they come home
Mm.
and they're throwing her a surprise birthday party.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm watching this with my wife. She was like, "Yeah, you don't do a surprise birthday party for a pregnant woman. You want her to have the baby right then and there." So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people there. The husband was talking to his friends about that she thinks there's something wrong with the baby. We see a lot of people in the house, and then we see a little girl picks up the camera.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think anything else happened before that. But a little girl picks up the camera. She's trying to find the little boy. Here's another one. They don't turn the lights on, so she's looking for this little boy upstairs because the girl Sam was feeling sick and she went upstairs. That's
Yeah.
right. She's feeling sick, went upstairs. So you see a little girl with the camera and walking upstairs in the dark.
I know. I was like, "Yo, why is this little girl not turning on any
Yeah.
of these lights?"
Turning not at all, just completely like pitch black, walking around upstairs with the camera with night vision on the camera. Like, come on. Now, if it made sense, she was like, "Oh my, cool, night vision. Let me try to test it out." Then that would make sense. But she was looking for some boy. And then right then and there, Sam like screams at the girl or something, like tells her to get out.
She was like carving.
Yeah.
Like, no, she did the carving after she said get
Yeah.
out. She said get out.
And then you see her
No.
like her face kind of like gets bigger. Like when she said get out, her face
Yeah.
like morphed a little bit. Little girl ran, and then she like ran down and started carving on
Yeah,
the
she
floor.
dropped the camera and you see
Yeah.
Sam carving on the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, that was crazy. And then it shows Sam is sleeping on the couch and the husband lifts up the shirt and you see her stomach. He's like, "Oh, that's you in there, little buddy," and stuff like that. And then the dog's barking, so he goes to see what's going on with the dog, and it shows the stomach like pushed up, like something's moving inside of it, but it was like
Yeah.
a dramatic kick of the stomach or whatever.
Yeah. That was like I said, another reason why he had the camera recording her, and then he had to go outside. So yeah, let me just put the camera down to watch my wife while she sleeps.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, why? But okay. um.
And then she's arguing over school because
mhm.
she wants to stay in school, but she's ticked off because she's pregnant because she didn't want the baby in the first place.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you don't have to put it on hold for long. You can just do it for a little bit." And she's like, "But I don't want to," and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely did not want to be pregnant. Like she was definitely worrying about school. And then they had the communion.
Yep.
You
She's
see
at
the
the church.
communion. They're having communion. I guess I don't know who the little girl was, their niece or something probably. And then all the kids are walking down and they're sitting in front of the priest, and then we see oh no, right before that.
The priest was
The priest
coughing.
was yeah, he was coughing.
He was talking to Sam and
Yeah.
he kept coughing. And he's like, something's like, he knew something was going on,
Yeah.
but he just couldn't pinpoint what it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, when's the baby due?"
Yeah.
In a month. "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, he just could not talk. Like I think he was touching her too at the moment, and like he just couldn't. Just
Yeah.
could not. Yeah. And then that was when the communion started. All the kids are growing up, and then they're sitting in front of the priest, and the priest just started talking, and then he just stopped talking, and then you see him staring at Sam,
Yeah.
and then you see, I don't know if you caught it, but Sam's eyes were red,
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
and then nosebleed, started bleeding, and it came out coming out of his mouth too, right?
Yeah,
He
I
was
think
just
so.
bleeding like everywhere, and then like he just fell out, right?
Yeah, he fell to the ground and someone had to get help. And Sam, everyone's like freaking out.
Yeah.
But Sam is just sitting there in this trance or
Mhm.
whatever she's in. And the husband's trying to get her to like calm down and stuff like that. And was she like shaking? Like,
Yeah, she was like almost like trying to hit him and stuff. He was trying to calm her down.
he's like, "Calm down, it's okay, it's okay." And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no.
Yeah. He after that you see him looking at the footage of what happened
Yeah.
and then he noticed someone sitting in one of the pews, and he realized that he sees some dude, he looked familiar. So he was like, "All right, let me just go back." And then he comes to find out that was the dude who picked him up in the taxi.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy
When
crap, why is he here?
When I saw that dude, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God. So now he pulls up that footage of the taxi ride, and then he's watching all the footage from that night, and then he sees that ritual. He sees the video footage from the ritual, which he's like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then while all that's happening, they're showing the camera from the hidden camera. So whoever's from the hidden camera is seeing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he ends up calling his friend or something to come.
Yeah.
And then he goes outside to meet him. And then by the time he comes in, the tape, I guess it was a tape, it's gone.
Yep, it's all gone. The footage is gone.
He couldn't find the footage. And he's like, what the hell? His friend didn't believe him.
Yeah. And then it shows him going to visit the pastor or the priest in the hospital, and he said he had a small stroke, and he's talking to him, and he brings up that John verse again.
Yeah, about the
John
Antichrist.
2:18, I think it was from the beginning of it, the Antichrist one, and then the priest starts like freaking out a little bit. It's like, I need you to leave now. I need you to go. I'm starting to feel tired. Please get out of here. Please just go. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As he has the rosary beads in his hands.
Yeah, he was showing them the symbols that
Oh yeah, he was showing the symbols.
The symbols, yeah.
He's like, did you see any of these symbols? And he explains what they are, and then he started freaking out.
Yeah, he was saying the Antichrist is coming, he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, and then he runs away. Then we see the baby shower. We see the baby
Sam's just acting like she's just like so out of it. She's like sitting there. She does not look intrigued in this. All the girls are like, yeah, who got this? Oh, Samantha got. Oh, I shouldn't use Samantha. That's her name. Oh, Kimberly got this.
Yeah, and then she's getting all these gifts, and then they have this one gift where they don't know who it came from. And then they give it to her, and she opens it up, and it's like some metal thing.
Yeah, you don't really know.
You don't really know what it is, like some metal thing.
But it does play a part in the movie.
Yeah. So then she just puts it away.
And then it shows. Then it skips to showing ash all over the deck.
Yeah.
It's just literally all over the deck, and there was somebody outside, and the husband chases him to his car, and he speeds off.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I gotta call someone here. Sam's in her room, so let me call, what was her name? Susie, yeah,
I think so.
Call Susie to come over and to watch her, right?
And then
no, this skips a group of kids to find the dead deer.
Yeah. Before that though, also they show Sam actually takes that thing that she found that she got from the present, she ends up putting in the baby crib.
Oh, I missed that.
She ends up putting that in the baby. I think she opens it, and you see it glowing, and then she closes it and puts it in
I
the
do
crib.
remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember the glowing. Yeah. Okay, so I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. So
No, then
it goes to the group of kids finding the dead deer, and it's like mutilated, like it's like cut at the stomach, it's like slit down, and you're like, oh my gosh, what would have caused this and stuff like that, and then they turn around and they're like, ma'am, are you okay? They see Sam and they're like, ma'am, are you okay? Hello? Do you need help? And they walk around and they see her and she's eating the deer guts.
Yeah.
It was so gross.
Yeah, she's eating it. And they're like, oh my God, let's run. And they start to run. And then like she like force pushes like the one kid, the girl, she force pushes her into the bushes. Like she was just gone. And then they start running and then she pulls back the one kid and then like shoots him away. And then the one who has the camera, like, why are they recording? Like even that part, it's like, why are these kids recording?
Yeah.
But they ended up, he starts running. He's a good distance, but then we see him get shot in the air, which is a really cool shot. And then he falls down onto the car.
You think all three of them were killed?
The two guys, maybe the girl survived possibly. Because we see her get pushed into like she flew over the bushes, but I don't know. It depends where she landed, you know.
True. Yeah. And then the husband comes back and he checks on her and she's like, "Are you okay? You doing fine?" She's like, "Yeah." She acted like nothing ever happened. Like she wasn't just out, just killing people. No, were eating deer. She's just sitting there. You could tell she showered because she was all gross from what
Mm.
happened, acting everything was normal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Then let's say I got that. I guess he wakes up again. I think he was sleeping on the couch or something. There.
yeah,
And then he wakes up and he sees Sam in the dark sitting, and then she's like humming. And then she starts like hitting him, or because he's like hugging her, like, oh, it's gonna be okay.
yeah. And she's like, "Don't touch us!
Yeah,
Don't touch us!"
yeah. And then she like kind of wakes up and she starts crying.
Yeah. She's like, "I don't know what's wrong." And then you see him. The husband calls his dad and asks to stay with them because she feels like there's something wrong with this pregnancy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he does that, and then he chased some guy to his car.
Yeah, there was someone outside, and then he chased him to the car, and the car pulled off.
And the car is familiar. It's from the
Yeah.
Anderson house.
Yeah.
If you looked at
He
it,
recognized
you
the
would
car.
realize it's from the movie, from earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
So he called over Susie to
Yeah, to look over, to watch over Sam while she was sleeping.
yeah, and
Um,
it shows Sam going out the refrigerator, and you see something in the background moves past
Yeah.
the hall while she's there. It had to have been Sam. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Zach went out, the husband, and he went to go do his thing.
And then while he's on his thing, she starts hearing noises, and then she goes to check on Sam.
Sam is carving
Oh yeah,
on the baby room floor. She's carving this symbol. It's like a circle with like
Yeah.
2 lines coming out of it.
But once again, all the lights are off, and she didn't turn on any lights.
I know. What is up with people in these darn lights?
Yeah. And then she's like, you know, what are you doing? And then we see the door closes on her, and then like it flies off or something, and then she gets like shot through the door. And then we believe she's dead. She gets
Yeah.
like door closes, and she gets like shot through the door, and the door goes off the hinges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She went flying. There was no covering from that. And
Yeah.
then it cuts to the husband. He's breaking into the Anderson house.
Mm.
It shows it's dirty. It's pretty empty. You can see that people are living there. You see that symbol all over the walls and stuff like that repeatedly throughout the house. And then it shows he goes upstairs and he finds the video cameras
Yeah.
that are set up in the house.
And they're all live feeds, so they're just watching everything that goes on in the house.
And then yeah, so he sees that, and he sees that someone is at their house.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Oh crap, I gotta get back to Sam. I gotta go help her." And so he tries to leave, and he hears chanting. Oh, well, someone's there.
Someone walked in when he was trying to leave, so he went back upstairs to hide. They walked away, so he went back downstairs, and then he can see like people chanting, like multiple people chanting, and I guess Latin, I would think. And then from there, he was like, all right, I'm gonna run for it. And then he opens the door, and there's some guy right there, and then he pushes past them, and then we see him in his car, and he's calling the police, telling them, you know, meet me, you know, I need to get, you know, meet at my house, you know, my wife's in danger.
Yeah. So he gets to his house, and there's just people standing outside his
Just
house,
randomly
like,
standing outside.
just there's like 3 people, 2 or 3 people,
Yeah.
just standing there. And he tries to go inside, but a force blocks him from going in.
Mhm.
So he goes around back. Once again, there's just random people just
standing
in the
there
backyard.
looking at him.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I wrote there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
And you hear Sam yelling, and the whole house shakes, and he breaks in, and then she yells again, and the power goes out.
Mhm.
And so you see through the night vision, and he's trying to look for her. You see the symbol on the wall and stuff like that. The house is a disaster.
Yeah, I thought that scene. I thought it was actually a good idea. Like every time she screamed, something in the house went crazy. Like the power went out. Then one with all the furniture flipped up in the air.
Yeah.
And then I think at the end, all the pictures went off the wall. So I thought that was pretty cool. Every time, almost like she was having contractions. Every time she screamed, something crazy happened. You know.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty good. So he makes it upstairs, and he's like, Sam, what
Oh
are you
yeah.
doing? And she's like smearing blood all over the
Mm-hmm.
floor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he goes to touch her, and she like forces him away, and
Yeah.
then he comes again to go touch her, and she like forces him against the wall, and,
Yeah.
like holds him up against the wall.
Yep. And then she grabs that little thing, opens it up, and comes out. I guess it's a knife. It was glowing though, and
Yeah.
she ends up cutting her stomach open, and like just blood everywhere. She falls down, and
She returns back to normal. Well,
yeah.
she's not normal as
No.
in like no pain.
Yeah.
She's like normal as in herself.
Yeah, she's crying, and then she tells him she's sorry. Is the baby okay? She says after that, and then she dies. Literally, legit, just dies.
Yeah, I was like, no, how could you
Yeah.
kill off Sam? I liked her.
Yeah, and then like he's sitting there, he's crying, and then just people comes up, and then we come to find out it was one of them, the guys. It was the doctor,
Yeah.
and then I'm not sure if it was the taxi guy or not, but I definitely know it was the doctor. They end up just grabbing the baby out of her stomach. You hear the baby crying, and then you see like a little glow in the baby. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
when they were pulling the baby out, it kind of glowed like that light with the knife. It glowed.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a quick second, and then right after that, the camera cuts off, and then it goes back to the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, tell us what happened. Said, tell us what you did with the baby.
Mhm.
Say you took the baby, killed the wife and your sister.
Mhm.
Said the Anderson house has been abandoned. Nobody lived there.
Yeah.
And that the Dr. Dylan never existed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the real icing on the cake was it shows another couple, but this time in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
They're enjoying themselves, and they get a taxi. And who is it?
The taxi is the same dude from Dominican Republic, and now he has a French accent. So, and he asks to pick them up. Hey, you want to ask them to go to to another bar or whatever, one last bar or something. I forgot. Is that what he said?
Something like
that. But yeah, he picks them up to do the same thing again, because it's not just one Antichrist; it's many Antichrists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the movie. That was the movie. Let me see what I wrote. Pretty much everything I said. Too many. I think it was a little too much on the jump scares. I said they make a lot of dumb decisions. Build up seems weird. No, never one to turn on the lights. The dialogue didn't seem real authentic. Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I'm gonna give a. Ooh, that's kind of tough. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
That's what I would have
Yeah.
rated too. 2.5. Yeah.
Okay. I think this would have been better if it wasn't found footage.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think it would have been a lot better. They would have had more, be able to do more things and make it a little bit better. It would just flowed better, and you'd be able to build it up a little bit better and not force situations. I think
Yeah.
like a regular movie would make this better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I agree with you on that.
It's like a twist on. You ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
I think so.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, like the Antichrist. She pretty much had sex with the devil. That's
Yeah.
the first part of the movie. But yeah, so like, they did some good things. Oh, first of all, what are you rating it? Oh, you said 2.5, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I said I would have rated it as
You
the
were
same
rating
as yours.
Okay.
I had my rating all panned out
Oh,
what I
okay.
would have done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had it picked for a while.
Oh okay.
So.
Like I said, I do like certain things they did. I thought this was gonna be a dumpster fire movie. I do like certain things they did with it. I like all the stuff she was doing. It was very creepy. Busting out the windows and all that stuff.
That stuff kept you on your toes.
Yeah.
That stuff kept you interested in the movie because the first half of the movie, let's put it like this, it was a snores fest.
Yeah. 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 I think with a regular movie, they could have showed a lot of stuff happening in the background.
They could have.
It
was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But
especially the ritual scene, like I have no idea what the hell happened during that ritual scene.
yeah, no. Even when he found that footage of it, you still didn't even get any more extra footage of it. It still showed like exactly what we seen the first time around.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a pretty short movie. It's only like 90 minutes, probably a little bit less, but
I think it was an hour and 24 minutes.
Yeah, so it's a little less. And like, I think they just definitely could have. I didn't really think that I heard it. The found footage part heard it. You don't always have to do it. And like, if you're gonna do a found footage movie, it has to be a good reason why you're using the camera. Why is that camera in your hand in such a crazy moment that's going on?
Yeah.
Like we watched Record, they're using the camera as a light because it's dark. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
At one point, they have to use the night vision because the light broke.
Yeah.
So that's a reason why you're using the camera. Uh, what was the movie? The Visit. They were doing a documentary,
Yeah.
and you can see them setting the scene up and all that stuff. I like that. That makes sense why they're recording.
Exactly.
Exactly. So like I said, 2.5 is pretty good. I mean, it's better than I thought. I literally thought this was gonna be the worst movie ever, and it's not. So it was just
was not bad at all.
yeah, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, let us know what you thought.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
What's your rating?
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing more bad movie reviews, and I think after we film this, record this episode, we're gonna pull another one.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe yeah, I think we'll pull another one. We'll see. But yeah, guys, let us know what your thoughts, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace out.